Double Take Sports Talk here with me, Daryl. Darren opposite side via Zoom.
Hello, what's going on?
You doing all right, man? You feeling it
Yep.
today?
Yeah, feeling real good.
All right. Good beans. Okay. You ready to rock this Twins debate? Knock it out?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Talk about here.
Here's the deal. Of course, today we're going to focus on our part 2 of this Twins debate, Jim Irsay. Earlier in December, probably my midway December, we had put an episode out with our concerns of Jim Irsay and the Indianapolis Colts and how we felt about the whole ordeal and what the issues were. So if you want to look back on that, by all means, help yourself. It's posted on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. So feel free to take a look at that and just follow up with the series. Now, for those that really haven't really been paying attention, then we're going to go back and review really quick. Back in December, going into week 14, the Colts had a legitimate shot for the second year in a row to actually get the AFC South, in which mathematically at the time they had lost the game, but they were still in the opportunity to actually win the AFC South. But the chances blew up in week 16 when they lost to the Raiders, with Houston winning 2 in a row at that time. And that's when the Colts' playoff chances had really diminished because they weren't able to qualify for the wild card spot, so they had to get the AFC South. And so after that game, Jim Irsay had no situations of saying, hey, we're not anticipating any changes. I'm open to it, but we're not going to make any changes. So that said right there that Irsay was going to keep Pagano and Gregson for 2017. Now, going all the way up to yesterday, the Colts decided to fire general manager Ryan Gregson.
And that is on Saturday, January 21st, 2017.
And they felt that this was a process going forward. So, with that being said, he had posted a 49-31 record at the time with Gregson, 5 years with Indy. He posted a 49-31 record, which is pretty good for a general manager that actually sucked in his skills, which he awfully had a lot of help with. And one of the bad parts about this whole ordeal is that Gregson only utilized 4 of his 14 draft picks during his 5-year tenure with the Colts. 4. Never good. Never put yourself in a situation like that. So, with that being said, of course, we would already know how we would feel about that. But, Darren, what do you think about this move? And now that they're considering, in which you were right, they are also, pretty much Jimmy Ray III is going to be pretty much the GM. At this point, he's going to be the favorite, the high favorite, because he's in his 4th season with the Colts. So how do you feel about that move?
I think it's a good move. If anybody read my blog yesterday, I mentioned that Jimmy Ray is more than likely going to go ahead and just be the GM for the Indianapolis Colts. And I believe it's a good move. Also, as I mentioned in the blog, you have risers where he was with the San Diego Chargers for the reason why San Diego was as good as they were when Marty Schottenheimer and all them was with San Diego along with Jimmy Ray. You had people like LaDainian Tomlinson, Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, Sean Merriman. Who else did I write in that blog? I wrote
Rodney
Harrison, Junior Seau. There was somebody else that I wrote in here. Antonio Gates, Wes Walker, Antonio Cromartie, just to name a few.
Mm-hmm.
I look at all those players, they all came out to be something, in the later run in the NFL. Ronnie Harrison with New England, Junior Seau, I think he also went to New England. Antonio Gates being a big tight end for San Diego, still staying stuck to San Diego. Phillip Rivers the same way. Drew Brees going to New Orleans. LaDainian Tomlinson winning the rushing title in 2006 or 2005, one of the two.
You might be right. There's somewhere around that.
But these are potential players. These are people Jimmy Ray was looking at. So I believe that this is a good move to put him in this position. Although I said and still should believe that Chuck Pagano should still be head coach and general manager. That's just me. It's a good move that Irsay did that, but I believe Pagano should, carry that. I believe that all coaches, and my philosophy that all coaches should be able to be general managers and head coach for their team because they are the ones that are creating a playbook. They are the ones that are actually trying to develop a play system that fits and designate for each player in the NFL and newcomers for the NFL. So I thought it was a good move to go ahead and bring Jimmy Ray in and actually get rid of Gritson.
Okay, and I agree with that also. I agree that despite the fact that even though that Jim Irsay's comment saying that he did work tirelessly, he worked hard to try to build the team up in its way that was supposed to be.
Hey, Pip, it didn't show.
It failed big time. It did.
It didn't show.
So, yeah, with that being said, let's just say for the sake that if Jimmy Ray and Chuck Pagano was actually on the same page during the time that Gritson was general manager, what if they was actually on the same page and they could actually work together? Do you still believe that Chuck Pagano should be still general manager and head coach if Jimmy Ray and Chuck Pagano are on the same page?
Well, if Jimmy Ray and Chuck Pagano are on the same page, there would be no reason to have a general manager. Just leave Jimmy Ray where he's at. That's just me. I would just leave Chuck Pagano where he's at as head coach and Jimmy Ray as vice president of football operations. That's what I would just do.
Well, wouldn't you think it actually makes sense to the fact that they was actually on the same page to bring Jimmy Ray in as a general manager if Chuck Pagano didn't actually want a general manager spot?
Well, I mean, when you think about it, it's just better off. To me, it's just a fancier name for general manager, vice president of operations of football. He operates everything. Why give him a general manager? That's pretty much the same thing to me. So you might just go ahead and just leave him as president of operations. That's just me. That's just me.
Okay. That was very interesting to know. So now that we have right now a vacant general manager spot, and Jim Irsay said for sure that Pagano, if something don't change, because he did sing a different tune all the way up until now.
Well, he has no coaches that are candidates to be able to run the football team. So I don't think that's going to change. I don't think that's going to change.
Well,
Jim Irsay does it himself.
Well, yeah, but you see that he did sing a whole different tune because, for one thing, they were supposed to keep Gritson and Pagano. But then out of the blue, out of nowhere, something had happened. And in my personal opinion, that Irsay did say that Gritson, not Irsay, Gritson and Pagano had a good relationship. Here's my thing with that. I think that personally that they did have a good relationship, but it was a good personal relationship. I think the professional relationship, the professional business relationship bombed, period, failed. I think that they could not get along. They could not agree on anything, on any term whatsoever. That's why I think where the Colts failed at anyway. And to be honest, looking at the tweets really showed that Grayson was the problem. even former Colt player. Jarrell Freeman even threw one out there. Pat McAfee threw a tweet out there. You know, everybody is expressing regard about Ryan Grigson. And we said it in the December 15th episode. Grigson is the problem.
He is.
He is the reason why they are in the position that they are now.
Because here's the thing. Here's what gets me. You have, when they first came in, what was the first thing that they did? They got rid of Dwight Freeney. Check. That's one of the things.
That was a fail.
That was a fatal mistake. Fatal mistake number one. Now, I understand you wanted to create your own team, but you got to know what you're doing in order to do that. Exactly. So that automatically failed on that behalf. Fatal mistake number one, getting rid of Dwight Freeney. Fatal mistake number two, they went on here and decided they were going to draft, give away one of the draft picks for Trent Richardson. They didn't do squat for the team and cause problems for the team. Problem number two, check. Not working. To continue and continuation of bad decisions. Then, fatal mistake number three, Coby Fleener.
Gone. Fatal
Check.
mistake.
Check. Draft him, gone. Wait, did they draft him?
Yeah, they drafted him and Andrew Luck, didn't they? Wasn't it like a year apart? Or was that the same year?
Yep, 34 picks. Same year. Andrew was 1 and Coby Fleener was 34. You draft him, gone. Fatal mistake. Fatal mistake. Should have kept him regardless of the issues. Fatal. And then, lastly but not least, I had to
take ease. Take ease. Yep, take ease when you're doing this.
You get rid of Reggie Wayne.
Yes. Not good.
Fatal mistake number 4, check. Who are you to get rid of Reggie Wayne, a man that has been a successor to Marvin Harrison, and you get rid of him and think that it's just okay? Now, don't get me wrong. You picked up T.Y. Hilton. Fabulous. Picked up under Reggie Wayne. His success. Great. Fabulous. Reggie Wayne gets injured. He's no longer use of the team. For what? Injuries happen. Obviously, you got a permanent. Never mind. But my whole point is
that sounds good.
My whole point is that you can't get rid of good players without acknowledgement. I mean, Jim Irsay did it with Peyton Manning. That was another fatal mistake.
Yeah, that was another bad mistake.
Andrew Luck. You didn't even build an offensive line to protect Andrew Luck.
Not at that time, no. Not that time, no. And that's the funny part about this whole ordeal. During that time, Colts fans around, the state of Indiana believed that, the combo of Grigson and Pagano needs to go. They need to be fired.
No.
But failed to realize that the issue fell within Grigson and that Pagano is not the reason.
He's not.
He's not the reason whatsoever. This is the point that we was trying to make when it came down to the Colts as a whole. These mistakes, that's surrounding other players, like you just mentioned with Grigson, the big failures of getting rid of Reggie Wayne, getting rid of Coby Fleener, getting rid of all of them. And then with Irsay wanting to, rebuild, decides he wants to get rid of Peyton Manning and bring in Andrew Luck, which was fine. But these mistakes all fall around Chuck Pagano, not in Chuck Pagano, around him, which people are going to look at and say, yeah, this is also part of Pagano's fault. It's not. He really don't have a say. The only thing he really has a say in is his coaching staff. Period. That's it. That's all you really have to say about that. That's all. He has a say in his coaching staff. Everything else that Grigson and Irsay did, that surrounds him. That surrounds Pagano.
Yeah.
He has no choice but to breathe that in. He has no choice but to drink it in. He has no choice.
And he convinced me well enough to believe that he's a fabulous coach.
Me too.
To me, he convinced me Because like I wrote in the blog, if that was the case, they would be the 1976 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the 2008 Detroit Lions, and the 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers in consecutive years.
I agree.
Because that football talent on that team is not enough. It's really not enough.
Well, they failed to play because of Grigson. That's why they failed to play.
That's very true.
It was too much drama for them to handle. Too much. You seen Jarrell Freeman and Kobe Fleener. They clashed all the time. And now that Grigson had got rid of Jarrell Freeman, which I believe was I think he was the leading tackler and one of my best defensive linebackers with the Colts, within mirroring the 2006 Indianapolis Colts.
I see.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying because you see that difference. You see that the ability of them in those years when them two was there. You just seen the ability.
You seen the difference.
You seen it big time.
Big time.
You just seen it.
Absolutely. And then you had Kobe Fleener, which he was developing to one of the best tight ends besides Dwayne Allen. You have them two as your tight ends, and then you get rid of Kobe Fleener. And then you got to develop new talent besides Dwayne Allen with Jack Doyle. Fine. Absolutely fine. But here's the deal. We could have had three best tight ends with the Colts. Two could have spread the floor.
Exactly.
One could have been an offensive lineman to help protect the quarterback. And anything could have happened with that, but they failed to do that. They could have had they could have had 5 offensive linemen versus a tight end that can actually run protect and pass protect against the defense. That's what could have happened. But evidently, Grigson saw differently. This is why we believe that Grigson was the problem.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And
they tried to get rid of the situation. Kobe Fleener, Jarrell Freeman.
Exactly.
It got worse.
It got worse, big time.
If Grigson would have been gone that year, they would have possibly could have went to the AFC Championship game that year.
Again.
First year.
Mm-hmm. Again.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. Because the one thing I seen was that Jim Irsay finally decided that Grigson was the problem. I don't know how he realized that. I don't know if the players actually went up to him and said, hey, we're having problems with Grigson. This, that, that, that. Grigson, this, that, that, that. Lord knows how that happened. But like I said in the 750, Irsay's a smart man. He can figure this stuff out. He would take the necessary precautions in some ways, to whether he can make the necessary decisions about the team itself. He'd have been through the rebuild process before and actually won a Super Bowl off of that, 2006.
Exactly.
And he could do it again.
And made it to the Super Bowl in 2009 and lost.
Exactly, and lost. He could do it again.
And won consecutive AFC South championships in the division.
Mm-hmm. He could do it. He's a smart man. Now, we can be honest about that. He's a smart man.
Absolutely.
He's a smart man. But sometimes he could be a little whoopsie-doo, but that's not my call.
Because a lot of people always like to go and try to say that Jim Irsay is the problem. We need to get rid of Jim Irsay. Or they'll always say, hey, we need personnel change. Y'all got to understand, you can't keep going through these changes. If y'all are working for a company, why would y'all want to keep going through personnel changes every year when something don't go right?
Exactly.
This is the 5th year that Ryan Grigson would have been with the team. And in those 4 years, I think it was 3 or 2 AFC South championships.
Yes.
2, 3?
Yeah, I think it was 2.
And then
took the last 2.
Yeah, and then you have that, and then going to the AFC Championship game, but then nothing else after that. It just got quiet. When you downgrade like that and stay like that, that's an issue.
That's an issue.
You don't get rid of the coach, get rid of general managers. That's to me, that's been my philosophy. It's a good philosophy to go by. You get rid of the coach, then you get rid of the whole system.
Yep. Evaluate the whole thing first before you even decide that that you want to make these big changes. But
Yeah.
this right here, the way that they evaluated this was of course, me and you, Darren, of course, can agree with this, that this was the smartest move that Irsay made.
Absolutely.
Besides getting rid of Peyton Manning, that covered up the dumb mistake that he did. Actually, my personal opinion, getting rid of Peyton Manning.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to be real. When you think about Peyton Manning, although he won a Super Bowl with Denver, and it took him a couple years to do it, I look at Andrew Luck, and I look at a very good potential with him.
Hold on. Yeah, I agree, Darren. I agree. Don't get me wrong on that. But sometimes in a situation like that, when you see Peyton Manning and he recovered well, sometimes you just don't fix what is not broken.
Right. I get that. But I was going to get into say, although that Peyton, had his injury difficulty that set him out the entire 2011 season, when you sit down and you think about it, picking up Andrew Luck, to me, I thought was a smart move. I mean, getting rid of Peyton was one thing. I think that Peyton should have been a successor to him. I mean, not a successor, but actually just sitting down and coaching Andrew. I think Andrew should have spent some time being a backup quarterback before he became an official, NFL quarterback, because that right there just kind of fed him to the wolves too quickly.
Decided the fact that Peyton he was thinking about retirement. It was time. So he could have took those last, how many years was he in the league? Probably 6 years after that injury. I mean, after that neck surgery, about what, 6 years?
No, it's only about 3.
About 3?
Yeah, because he was out the entire 2011 season with that neck injury.
Okay, I thought it was 2010. They did make the playoffs that year. After the 2011 season, after that, that could have been the time that he could have actually had sat down with Andrew Luck. Or I should still have drafted him.
Absolutely.
And could have used him, and could have used him, and then bam. Peyton could have retired, Andrew could have taken over the team, and bam. Nothing else would have been failed after that.
Nothing.
Look at Green Bay. But look at Green Bay.
Yep, look at Green Bay. Look at unfortunately New England.
Yeah,
look at there was another team that I had in mind. San Diego,
exactly. I always think about Green Bay with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Brett Favre was there for so long, and they had drafted Aaron Rodgers. And he had been backup for so long.
Mm-hmm.
They knew at a point in time that Brett Favre was going to retire. Mm-hmm. But then when he actually did retire but changed his mind, they had to trade him because they were sticking with Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. And just the fact of that you have a backup for so long that has known the playbook, that has known the system, that has known this for a long period of time, this is exactly what could have happened with the Colts with Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck. That's right. Just me personally. That's exactly what could have happened, but a lot of GMs, a lot of owners don't think of it that way. And which I think that's kind of backwards. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It just don't make sense. But hey, that's not our show. We're not owners. We're not CEOs. We're not general managers. We're nowhere in the NFL. So, So I'll just go leave it as that.
I mean, it's just it's. I think Peyton would have left in a lot better, shape than what he did when he left in 2011. I think that was the wrong way to leave.
I think it was too.
He wouldn't even retire with the Colts. So, something was wrong with that ordeal.
Yeah, if he did retire with the Colts, something's wrong with that ordeal.
Something wrong with that ordeal.
Yeah, so he squashed the rumors about, John Gruden and Peyton Manning joining the Colts. Peyton Manning, it had, like Jim also said, it hadn't even been a year since Peyton won the Super Bowl. He's enjoying retirement. But he did open up the opportunity when Peyton do get.
And I believe it will happen. I believe it happened.
I think it would happen. Like Irsay said, it's just going to take some time. He's going to have to enjoy retirement. Yeah. He ain't got to stick to no schedule. He ain't got to do nothing. He can do whatever he wants right now.
He could be a what they call him? What's Rick Smith's? What is Rick Smith's?
House mom.
Yeah, house mom. Yeah,
A
he could
house
be
mom.
one of those right now. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
That could be anything.
Yeah. So, I mean, he got all the money in the world to do it, so why not? Be a house mom, man. Take care of your kids. Do what you gotta do right now. Spend time with your kids and when you're ready to go back to work, or if your kids decide that they grow up too fast, go ahead and join the organization.
Right, right, right.
So yeah, I mean, it's just it's just one thing to work out versus another to work out. So
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be interesting on how this works out and how the life after Grigson is going to come. Opening up to new light. So we'll see how that works out. Of course, we keep this posted, no doubt about it, and we'll keep everybody updated on this. But Darren, do you want to add anything else to this? Of course, I know you did a blog on it. If you want to check that out, doubletakesportstalk.blogspot.com. But yeah, you want to add anything from your post or
Nope.
anything else you want to add?
Nah, I think that was it. I think I already added it while we was having the debate.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So that was another edition of Twins Debate. If you like what you see, give the video a thumbs up. Any questions, comments, concerns, or how you felt about this debate, just go ahead and comment on the comment section below, as usual. But with me, Darren opposite side, Zoom.
Yep, you got him. You got him.
All right. Catch up with us on another episode of Twins Debate. Until then, ciao.
Ciao.